bit different stream tonight. I'm in a different kitchen, so we'll be able to actually, this will be really fun to be able to show everybody how to, we'll have an induction stove, I think it's called. So it won't be the little totally out of my element, but we got a rice dish. I'm with my folks out here in Washington State, so I'm a little all jumbled up tonight. And I get the rare opportunity to be able to make dinner for my family back in town for them for a little bit. All being as safe as we can. We were even all masked up in the car today when some of us were traveling. Being real good about it, so don't worry everybody, we're all being safe. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is that, so now there's a non-set number of people, but everyone are going to be over for dinner tonight. So how many people is that? Let's see. Let's see. There's 6 people altogether, and 1 cup of rice can serve 2 people. So we're going to want 3 cups of rice, and we're just going to do 3 cups and a little. I thought I was going to be able to rinse all this rice in a small bowl, but I think I was still could have grabbed that bigger bowl. Let's see, this was 2 pounds altogether. But the 2 pound jar, but the rice would be like 1.75 pounds. I should get that in ounces. That would be a lot better to just stick to different ounces. So we got the rice, and we're going to go ahead and still rinse it. That seemed like pretty fancy rice. The water going. And then also we're going to go ahead and prepare all our other vegetables real quick, because I realized that I want to cook the rice and everything at this after I already kind of sweat the vegetables that we're going to be cooking here. We got carrots, we got celery, we got some garlic, a yellow onion, and then you can use, if you have no chicken stock, we're going to go with a bouillon, and we're going to use that to make a stock. We're just going to get a little whisk work in. You know how popular whisk work is on this show. And we're going to go ahead and use the cutting board that comes out, and I'm going to show you a little trick. Actually, what we can do is that the first thing is have the drawer that comes out on top of the board. Pull that out underneath it, and then what you can do is that you can see that you don't want to pull it overextended because there's too much wiggle room. But what you can actually do is, if you find a nice middle ground still, you can take a towel, one of your kitchen towels, to fill in the gap, and then it's a lot more sturdy to be able to work with it. You know, otherwise it might end up rocking a bit too much. Let's position the rack. And we're going to do a quick sound check. I have the other phone, right there. Make sure that see how my voice is going in this room. How many phones does it take? So there's always really boring stuff that you have to say when you're sound checking. Okay, it's coming in great. Luckily that happened real quick. Got my tea right there, and I still have the chat all pulled up. We just call this a one-dish meal. There's not really another name for it. We're going to go ahead and get our rice put away real quick. I don't know if it really has a home. Put it up next to the soy sauce. And then we'll just get this quick rinse just for any particles. And then I already cleaned out the sink. And we're going to go ahead and start prepping our vegetables. So just getting it. It's okay to go ahead and pull it apart. I'll break off the dirt. It's going to be in this root here. Get that cleaned up. Yeah, I'm with some family, so I got some extra help tonight. You heard that I was cooking them some food, so you thought I'd help. Hey, what's up, Sean?
What's up, boys?
Yeah,
We're live, Sean.
Yeah.
Say hi.
Hey, how's it going?
Making dinner, dude.
Fuck yeah.
everyone here streams, so you can find us one way or another.
Oh, everyone. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's not a streamer house. Well, it kind of is a streamer house, isn't it? But I'm not here. I don't live here.
Amy G. Slugs. Hi, Amy.
Yeah, that's Amy and Bobby. They're famous because they helped save my biscuits one time.
Oh, there you go.
They were totally MVP of the show.
You know, man, watching you clean that celery, man, that's like a lost art. No one does that anymore, man.
You're kidding? You think so? This is how you keep the freshness.
That's how you know you work in a restaurant. Right there. Love it. I'm gonna go get changed and I'll be right back.
Okay.
We'll be back in a few.
Yeah.
Why is there a chair here?
That was me. That's for me.
You wanted to be able to sit down later.
So you could sit and gotcha.
Yeah. We got 6 people to feed, and we're all big men. Plus my sister. Yeah. So these right here are really good for garnish. This right here is the green. You just cut it off that much. That's with all the tops. We're not going to have, for this recipe, it doesn't call for it. So if sometimes celery comes in all shapes and forms, really. And what I mean by that is that where it's cut at, some are just pruned more, like it would be cut off at here at this point, so your celery. And some might not even actually be held up at the root. But once you cut it off on the root here, it's going to actually start aging a lot quicker than if you just have it all densed up. And yeah, we'll still use this guy right here. And what I want to do is, yeah, we'll just have to work on both sides. So I made sure, and then I'm just gonna trickle water. That way, if I see anything, kind of caught, this is just the sense of it. I can really show you that. Keep your vegetables, and then you're running on here. That way, the dirt flows and not back on top. That way, you're not working in vain. And then we'll just keep on taking off any of that garnish. And you could probably save that garnish for a day if you wanted to use it for something else. I'm pretty, it's not quite jet lag because we did all the car rides, so it's a little something else. But I'm not as necessarily quick-witted today. But we'll get the food going. Lots of celery, carrots, a little garlic, and an onion. Feed an army. And then, so I didn't buy any of the rice, but you can use any rice with this, white rice. If you want to use wild rice, it'll work just as well. It's just changing. You just have to look and see how long your rice takes to cook. And then the vegetables just get to cook longer. It's just pretty much a win-win situation. And then I see a blemish right here. This is the brown spot, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to get rid of it. If I was saving the garnish, just put it in there in that area. And then the sink is all cleaned out, so it's already been scrubbed down. So no worries. And also, you know, you're just cleaning off. This came off the ground, surprising. It went through a lot of hands to get here. I know some people don't want to think about that. Aw. Hey, I'm hearing back from Travis.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool that he got back to me. He's working both days, I guess. But I'm just glad he knows that I'm here. You know?
He works a lot of weekends.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm super lucky that I have weekends off, and I'm getting this, and I have this Friday off today too, because I have a super awesome boss. I'm out here in Washington to mourn a friend. So there's an outdoor wake going on. My sister was kind enough to let me stay. That way we don't have to do any of the hotels or anything like that. But everyone, like I said at the start of the stream, everyone's being as safe as we can. We were even masked up earlier. So I got this outside of the onion here. That's the first part. I go ahead, because your knife will slip on that. And then this, it's not like a waxy, but it would kind of feel slick and kind of waxy. And I want to go ahead and rinse off the carrots. Now, this is about one, if you get a big celery, this would be, you could use a little bit less. Like one big celery would probably be yay much celery. And this is 2 small ones, so you get a little bit more. And then, like, what you want to think about is that over here is where we had the dirty, so the full practice wouldn't be to put this back over here. You'd move it over to another place that you had clean if you're just using the counter space. And if you really want to, if like you have really tarnished countertops, you can just set this stuff on a plate, or if you have a lot of cutting boards, you can set it on them. If you but this is like what you use your counters for. I know it might seem a little odd that have to say that, but as long as you keep them clean, they're not just for plates. So 2 celeries, but we're only going to need about half this bag of carrots here. There's one really big one. I'll switch it out. Oh wow, that's a chunky beast. This is great. This is a really nice carrot, actually. And then I'll be able to show you how we'll be able to split it and make it easier to cut, because this is way too big if you just slice it. Give that a rinse. We'll go ahead and put these other carrots in the fridge. Let's see. That's all meat. We'll just put it there for now. And then I'm going to go ahead. This is the first time I've used this stove, so I'm not going to really preheat anything. I'm really going to just have to take my time with it and let it warm up. And then, like I said, I've switched all over the time zones here, so it's anyone's game. When this stream will end, all I know is dinner's got to get made. People are waiting. So at this season, like you can have a scrubber that you just have for scrubbing food. A cloth would work too. Or you just use your hands. And then what? Do I make a disclaimer that this is not a sexual education class? We're just washing carrots. Alright. So it's like a shame, but I do know that this is the bounty that you would use for vegetable stocks. I'm not, to be honest, like I haven't made too much like vegetable stocks from scratch because I'm still getting better at cooking with fresh vegetables. I'm pretty spoiled because sometimes things just sit in the fridge for so long that it's sometimes better so it doesn't get wasted just to buy it frozen. It's still fresh and it has a shelf life in the freezer. Or I've canned goods is another one that I use, like canned carrots, canned celery. I don't see too much canned celery, to be honest. Usually it's cream of celery. Anywho, I want to get, where would it be?
What do you look for?
I need a potato slicer. Or
Definitely would be in here. Let's go on an adventure.
Yeah, everyone's. It's funny, you know. Everyone thinks everyone's so different, but then everyone's kitchens is kind of the same. It's not like I.
Maybe everything in here has multiple homes.
Oh,
hey,
yeah.
hey, here we go.
No, the potato slicer totally moves at my place too, but now there's only me and Pops, so it's not too big of a deal anymore. So same thing, gonna put. Oh, I was just talking about that too. Anyways, it doesn't matter too much because we're gonna go ahead and slice these. Oh, let's see, gotta get used to this. So for this one, it's a little different than mine. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm still gonna. Okay, so this one, it does it on its own. You don't have to. I was gonna handle the blade with my thumb, but then seeing how this one actually does
Moves
this
with your motion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then being consistent with this will just save you time. That way you don't have like little spots, and then you just want to get. It's not even quite a quarter. And then you can always do a second pass, but a self-sharpening carrot peeler. And this is the boring parts of the cooking show, but this is the point of one of the points of the show is just to show people how to get it done. It's cooking with some fresh vegetables for the family. 6 people to feed tonight. So I don't have any recipe slides to put up because I'm a guest starring in someone else's kitchen tonight. So really just trying to bring the basics.
We're all getting a free meal, so.
I mean, people will say there's no such thing as a free lunch. I am staying here for free. And then I'm scraping here really big because there was like a really thick blemish. I already got it mostly out, but it's kind of discolored all the way through. So if you want to be safer than sorry, you just cut those 2 parts, and then you'd still want to cut it close to the root again. We'll have that one on the end there, and I'm sure when we start cutting... Oof, almost caught my thumbnail there. So trying to get an even pass each time, that way you can just turn the carrot in your hand and not go back, because if you're inconsistent with your scrapes, you'll just have slivers, so it would end up being circles where you have unpeeled carrots still. And this is a super simple recipe. We're just going to sweat the celery, the carrots, the onion and the garlic together, and instead of using water to cook the rice, we're going to cook the rice with some water bouillon mix, and it'll really give a nice flavor to the rice. And we're going to cook after we sweat the vegetables first, after we prepare them. So we're going to go ahead. Again, this is really easy compost right here. This is all great compost if you're self-composting. This will decompose really easily. The carrot peeling is not so much for the vegetable stock, but the celery ends. It's a shame to see them going away. But I don't want to have to leave the responsibility back on the folks living here to make sure it gets used somehow. And by folks, of course, I mean my family. just trying to be polite. Privacy is important for people to be able to have, and everyone seemed really excited when they heard that. So they heard it. They were like, "Wait, you're here, and it's Friday, but the stream." I was like, I got an idea. Like, let's just have food, and again, I was sitting there like not sure what to make. I'm like, I don't even need to think about it. That's not a brag. That's just like, it's the family's together. Let's just make what we had as a family. Bam, easy, done. Don't have to think about it. That's the cool part. So this onion you don't need to wash this off. Let's see here. So something I'm going to do with the cutting board here is I'm just going to give it a little something extra. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to pour a little oil on it. Like, not too much. A little goes a long way in this case, because I'm not like trying to re-oil the thing or anything. I'm just trying to put it smooth. And then you only have to do this one time. Really, less is more in this case, because it's just helping out the dry wood, and you really can. It's all just stuck in this paper towel. This will get any dust, or sometimes when it goes back into the drawer, it just starts slowly scraping away at something. So this just really helps make sure that there's nothing extra. And then the more you do this, the thing is that the more often you use this cutting board, the more often you're just giving it a little bit. And you can see how that kind of brought some color back to it too. And then we're going to go ahead and pick out a knife here. Let's see. Ooh, I really like this. It's a nice handle. It's a little bit short. This is kind of a big onion. Ooh, there's a full-on chef knife. I really like this though. I'll probably use that to cut the celery just for fun. I think this is a 7-inch chef knife. Again, this is not a sexual education class. So, go ahead, and what I do is that it's a little bit.
Here. We got another knife.
Oh, another chef knife? That one's a little bit dull. And you can tell.
Also a sharp one.
Oh, it's a sharp one? In it, right here?
Yep.
Oh, that's really cool. So, what I do.
I want to give the knife a wipe afterwards.
Yeah, I actually still have the paper towel I can use right there too. Let's see. Huh.
Yep.
I think this would. I wonder if this would work better left-handed. Nope, your hands totally get jammed up. I have small hands too. I can build computers and get all stuck in with that. It's definitely right-handed. And if it grips my nail when I go into it, is usually how I can tell that it's tight. That's a pretty cool. This isn't me oiling the knife. Yeah, sharpening the knives. Yeah, self-sharpening carrot peelers and a knife block with a sharpener on it. That just might be worth its weight in gold.
Brutal Ginger's a buddy of mine.
Oh yeah, I saw him on. What's up, Brutal Ginger? I saw him on what was it? Rocket League. I saw his name pull up, and I was like, oh yeah, okay. So there's a little bit. I'm being gentle. You can kind of scar up your knife. This is like a little bit of a. Not old, but like not brand new. Brand new is a little rough still. It could kind of mar the knife a bit. It's a little wet. Just dry it off, that way it doesn't slip out of your hand. Alright, and now that I'm cutting the onion, I have a kind of a good idea about how long it takes me to cut vegetables. This should all be done in about 15 minutes, I imagine. It's pretty slow, but I'm not trying to like show off or be fast. Just showing you how to like buy your time as you're cooking, because a lot of people that are cooking aren't going to be, you know, like, and there's not like, that's really loud. Like, there's people sleeping right now, even in the house. So it's this whacking of the knife and stuff. You can be a little bit quieter. So, and we're also going to have to wipe off the cutting board right after we cut the onion, because classically, this onion will make everything else taste like onion, which isn't really a bad thing in this case, but I really want, like, the onion, it's like adding auto-tune. If you can keep the onion off of the vegetables before they all end up in the pot, it just adds like a little something extra to it. I don't know quite how else to explain it. So you see how I didn't have to really slide on that. It came off a whole lot easier. So that was the head, and then now that I have a flat surface, I can go ahead, and this is still a little bit tall, so it's okay to still go flat. This is the safest way to do it. And when you have a sharp knife, you can just kind of let the knife do the work. So to let the knife, so this is using, it's not aggression. This is just like brute force, doing it like this. A little bit to come straight down. I like it. It's the safest way to do it, but it's also kind of not. Because where you're going to get more use out of the knife is if you can kind of still come up at an angle here and still let the knife do the work. But you have to be careful about the edge that you have here. And you also don't want to put your hand over on the knife here. So you saw how I kind of just tilted the knife back in and let it finish the rock here. And this is really going to be, since it's not even my kitchen, it's really going to be a clean as you go show. I guess I can really show that off pretty easily in this show because I have such an awesome helper. We were trying to think of different ways about how to set up the camera, and then Donut Kid was just like, I'll just hold the camera. I was like, oh no. Let's see. We'll go ahead and get this put away. And the same thing that we always do. So the root kind of is all on one side, but it's no big deal. There's, yep, this one a little bit more to peel off. Wow, this onion was fresh from the store and already has a little bit of green growing. The older the onion, so this onion would have gone bad pretty quickly actually. So that's good to know. And then if I was being super picky, I can just take that layer of onion right there. You can get rid of the green part. I really don't mind it honestly, but it's just like how much finesse are you? It's the finesse thing. Like if the rest, I'm sure there's recipes that are really particular about. But what they do, woo. And just turning the top, I'm holding the root. Kind of have my fingers bunched up like that. And just being careful when I go over the sides like that. Brushing up with the knife a bit. And repeating the process. Let's see. So choking the knife like this is going to give a little bit more of control. It's a little bit of a duller knife, so I'm going to also, this shortens the handle just a little bit more. So you saw how with the onion, like this was the better knife because you saw how I struggled cutting that onion. Really breaking down how to cut an onion today. But just with like, this is a really good opportunity to show like not other knives, like when you're using a new knife, like how to get comfortable with it and stuff. So really, like just cooking in someone else's kitchen is really giving like a nice little authentic little first time experience here. And then just be careful if you come back up like that. Don't stab yourself in the fingers, please. And then like I'm not like the greatest cutter of onions, but I don't cry. So that's not saying boys can't cry. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying I'm tougher than the onion, and that's saying a lot. Alright, make sure to not get your fingers. And then it's a little bit low, so go ahead and turn it over early. Go ahead and work down on it. Oh man, bro. I might be, and then it's a little bit easier to work with again. Go as slow as you go. This is a little bit papery, so we'll go ahead and get rid of that. Just scrape it in, and then that's through. That's the dirty part. Okay, so now a lot of times I like. So a trick is if you're ever starting to get a little teary-eyed, it's not necessarily the vapor wave. What you do is go ahead, and this is why you should think more about what type of chemical cleaners you're doing, because that onion is getting absorbed. I've heard, at least, I haven't gotten this, like, I haven't had a doctor tell me this, but what's making you cry is actually what you're absorbing in your fingers. And it's the first, it immediately like expresses in your eyes. So rinsing off my fingers right there of the onion juice, and then now I'm not like getting teary-eyed anymore, and that's how you don't cry in the kitchen. Ha ha. But you can still, the how it comes off, like the steam, is still another way to get it, because you can also wear goggles and it won't be so bad. And so I'm looking how it's turned. I'm taking the long ways, and I'm just trying to get a finer dice. And if I was just new to cutting, this is definitely the pace that I'd be taking at. Just going back, and a food processor is a great option if you don't want to pick up the knife skills. Like I said in a previous stream, the knife skills just let you be able to cook wherever you go, because now I don't need a food processor to be able to get my onions a little smaller. If I put it, like I said in the little about me section, I do consider myself retired from cooking, but that doesn't mean I haven't stopped eating. I just do this for my own audience, and that means like my own company. I guess that's the better way to say it. My own company. This is really, it's really good stuff to know. It's worth a lot. It's worth its weight. And then, like I said, you don't need to pick up the knife skills. You can, in your own kitchen, you can use a food processor. And you can achieve the same effect. Oh yeah, we do got some lo-fi in the background. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I got the little speaker out. Yeah! Felt like it was a little quiet. Yeah, it was a little quiet. I know my voice is booming in here too. I heard it. I'm sure now that I'm right next to the camera that I'm speaking a little softer now too. I'm sure I'm sure it's fine otherwise. People would have said something. Got lots of love on the stream. And I just had to give all these onions a second pass because I thought I did a good job, but there was just a few. This is just a little too big. It'd be just fine for the pastas I like to do. And then something else I'm doing that I kind of looked up. I don't know how good practice this is, but I'm not I'm not pressing hard down on it. I'm kind of just, it's even just slightly above. I'm just using it as a guide, and I'm still moving down like the 3 points of the finger. I haven't been professionally trained on the whole bit on that, because that's kind of the funny thing, you know, like just with the diner experience I had, like, and you know that's why it was also not my restaurant, because they teach you just enough to be able to do the job. I haven't cooked in fast food, but I'm sure it's pretty much the same. They explain it just enough for you to be able to do it. But luckily I try to pay attention. I try to improve myself. So I tried to keep that in mind. So we got all the onions. And like I said, I wasn't going to preheat this. Usually at the other house I would already have it, but now that has my full attention. I'm going to go off. So this one's nice. So on these inductions ones, this one even has a fast boil too. So this burner right here on the fast burner, there's one burner on your stove that can get a higher temperature than everything else. Sometimes, not all the stoves are created equal. And I'd have to look to see exactly what the fast boil is for this, but your user manual will tell you that. Or it's just like how you would look up a phone model. You can look up the back of your unit and see what it is. And then you can find out like how much electricity that you're using, all sorts of fun stuff. So this is a large pot, so I want to make sure to use the double right here. This would be a cooler setting on single. If I had this big of a pot and I was melting something like chocolate, I might pre-warm it with the two, but then I'd use it on the one and really have it kind of dialed in. Anyway, chocolate's a totally different show. And then we just had the garlic. Oh, that was awesome. Now, well. I'll have to look for a broom. And then we're going to sweat, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm not going to use oil to fry this. I'm going to go ahead and use water. So, and then this is already wet, so mine is already used what I had out. And we can use this a little bit more. Now, out here in the state of Washington, the water's pretty good, so I'm pretty lucky to be able to do that right there. Like even at the other house, I still have a tap on the other house, but that's right next to the Colorado River. Hey, me and Bobby, it's good to see you.
Boys.
Hey.
What up?
Oh,
I'm just finally got the onions cut. I was crying. Yeah, I
Oh,
was.
you always cry. You always cry.
Every time.
Oh, and did you when you have half the onion, do you cup it and then like do the lines?
I've tried that a couple times. I bet I wouldn't have had to do a second pass if I did the
Yeah.
cut. But I'm usually pretty good on on getting the first pass really thin.
Yeah.
But I just
It's cool, man. You got your mirepoix hot and everything.
yeah. And it's really simple recipe. Oh, I even had the price tag on it. It's only it was just 18. It was just like $19 to get like enough food for 6 people.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
when you think about that, that was like, wait, that's food for 2 people at a restaurant. Not even $18. Like, oh,
No
I'm
joke,
doing good.
man. No joke. Thanks for cooking dinner tonight, bro.
Oh yeah, of course.
You gotta come up here more. You gotta move
Well,
back, Robert.
yeah, it hasn't been safe. Like I've just been responsible. I've been telling that on the stream about how just like I'm out here to mourn a friend, but my sister was helping me. We stay.
You gotta move back, Robert.
Well, what I want to do is be able to start flying. That's what I really want to do.
Yeah.
I gotta get my eyesight checked for that.
Well, I'm gonna go smoke.
Okay. This is a super easy recipe, so it's gonna be wrapped up and just cook in here in a couple minutes.
Well, then I will wait for you, man.
Oh, no, dude, it's still gonna take me like 20, 30 minutes.
Oh.
Like,
Well, then I won't wait for you.
Yeah. do your thing, smoke. I was just letting you know, food is on the way.
Dude, fuck yes. That was
Like,
the perfect time to smoke.
So just really trying to be clean as I go. I am a pro, and then we're gonna go ahead and rinse this board off a little bit. I try to get the onion. And then now that I didn't have my cutting board all the way out in the first place, I can pull it back. This is still anything that was further back, no way it's going to get caught. And then go ahead. So if I were just to, this is so nuanced stuff, it's really dumb sometimes, but if I were to just take that and smear it like this, if I were to press down on it, I would have ruined it. Now, since I just did this, it keeps my paper towel cleaner, and it's picking stuff just on the edge there. It's just like, or it's really just a minute thing. And then now that I have it clear, now I can pick up all the little stuff. And all the little stuff will pick up easier because I don't have any big stuff on it. Just go ahead, get rid of that.
Hey, Robert, is this yours?
No, that's my sister's. That's not yours. Yeah, you found it. And then this paper towel did. Oh, hey, look at that! Naturally, you saw me tear it. I tore off just the half. Here's the other half. That's how you reduce, reuse, and recycle. Doing it without even trying. Oh man, there's still a little bit of onion. I might not be able to escape the onion. Okay. And then now that I know, I want to go ahead and put it to a 4. I really want these sweating. Need to get this a little hotter. And let's see here. Ooh, yes, this is what I want. I want to learn too. Even though this kind of looks like this is a very interesting pot. Is this a metal pot? Is this this almost looks like
Sean owns it.
I'll have to ask him. It's not quite ceramic. I almost want to say it's like
Some sort of metal.
It would be crazy if this is ceramic coated cast iron.
Ooh.
It
Kind of was looking like. Feels like cast iron, but it's not heavy like cast iron.
It's because it's a thin cast iron and then it's covered in ceramic. I think if that's what I'm looking at right here. Then I hadn't washed off my knife. I can that was sharp. Go ahead and take the back end of the knife. Yeah, we definitely sharpened that one. Everything in the pot. Alright, put that right there. Now we'll go ahead and give the knife a rinse. Oh, we still got lots of cutting to do. I don't know if I'm going to necessarily use the garlic. Yes, we will. So we have this. I didn't quite hear it. I don't know what made me turn around all of a sudden, but it definitely got a lot more steamy. Okay, so this right here, this garlic. I'm gonna do the original breakup. It's kind of fresh from the store. 1 clove. So again, with the food processor, this would definitely be one of those food processor things. Like if I didn't have garlic on hand, I would definitely just use garlic powder. Garlic powder would be fine. Okay, so now that I have them pulled off like this, I want to show you a trick because I want to show you how this becomes really easy to get off. So I'm going to put that on the corner of the board there. I want to take the edge of my knife. Amy and Bobby, I'll get back to you on your question there about how I'm doing. Mr. Sean came in, so I got a little distracted. And then this right here, like this is a little bit too much on it, so I'm actually going to still do it on the counter, but we'll do it over here, please. And then it's just, we'll do it one at a time. Just flat. Oh yeah, I'm on the first one. I forgot to do that stuff. So after you just flatten them like that, they'll basically peel off all on its own. I can grab it, right? Maybe this one will do it easier. So I just touched it and just... I wish I did a before example about how much you have to peel on it, and it just breaks it way easier doing that smash. And I got ahead of myself there because after we do that first one, we're still gonna smash it again. Oh, look at that. That's pretty funny. So that's so I'm sweating these carrots. If it the idea here is that I don't want it to quite run out of water. Ever, because then I'm going to start cooking the vegetables in a different way. Very much trying to keep it steamy. Okay, I can get all this out of the way there. I'm going to hit it again. Again, let's go more to a more secure part of the cutting board. There we go. So you want to hear it, the first time you did it with the skin on, you won't hear nothing. But you want to give it a little bit of crunch. And what that did is it basically releases the juices. So instead of the bite being inside the garlic, it is going to come out into the entire dish. And then again, this is a great time to use your food processor just to mince up this garlic. Mincing garlic is kind of a waste of time. There's just so many more convenient ways. It's not going to make, like, fine dining, yes. Like, if you're a restaurant owner, don't be like cheating your customers. I'm just saying, like, for the home experience, like, it's perfectly fine to be using dried garlic. Like, I think that there's, I don't know this for sure because I'm not a nutritionist, but being able to still use fresh garlic when it's available, and what it means when it's available is when it's in season in the kitchen. Is that I just think it might have a little extra something with the nutrient value. But I'm no nutritionist. That's just a hunch I have. This is why I don't go straight to the. Why I'm still cutting garlic, even though I'm at my sister's house. So I want a good meal for sweating the onions. No big pieces of garlic. And the reason why we're cutting it small is because we're not like cooking the garlic. The reason why we're doing such a good pass on it is because the smaller that you mince something, well, mince should just be one consistent size, but when you mince something, it has a really quick cooking time. And so this got added second instead of first. So making sure it has a nice mince. So no shortcuts on this one today. You kind of just have to go for it. Hello, hello, hello. Just making food for the whole family tonight. We got a 6-top. Clean up this garlic. It's a shame to waste. But a lack and a last it has to happen. Ooh, I'm sorry.
Nope.
Denied the cameraman of a tasty beverage. And stirring that garlic in. Giving it a good stir. That's how you cook things evenly. Getting it off the top. That's how you cook things evenly. Hey, it's pretty. Not so bad. And you know, like, it's just an easy recipe that you can put together. You can be talking with the family. Really basic ingredients. And
What ingredients?
the ingredients are carrots, celery, a yellow onion. The yellow onion's important because you want it to be like sweeter. You don't want the onion to kick. The onion's not the main star. The onion's like the onion's the wallflower of the game in this one. That is in the pot right now. That is not rice. That is the yellow onion. I do have some super fancy rice though right here. It was like, it has to be some sort of jasmine cross. I think it was jasmina. I mean, it's the wallflower, but you definitely, if you cook this dish without the onion, like I was asking people about it, asking the family, the experts about it, they said the onion would be best. And they're right. The onion always adds like a really like savory, like that's that satisfying feeling. And it's also a great way to get people hungry in the kitchen in the first place. So I'm gonna go ahead, cut off the tops. Yeah. Thanks. Appreciate you, camera.
No. You got a comment.
Thank you. Yeah, start. Careful! He's touching the rice in the pot. Yeah, no touchy. They thought I was stirring rice, Sean. They got no bait. Okay, so for this, there's a big carrot and a small knife. But we can work with the big carrot and the small knife. We're gonna go ahead and just get these cut in half real quick. Nothing fancy on it. Oh, this is such a big boy. We might need to do this one in thirds. It's so thick. I don't know why I did this one in thirds too. Nah. And this I'm gonna go ahead and turn up. I'm not even gonna try. It's so thick that you can just really just go straight down on it. A little bit unsafe doing it like that. Okay. And then for all of these, I need them halved because I want to get these diced. And then again, you can use your fingers, but they're all pretty balanced. And then I do got the onions going, so I'm on a little bit of a time frame here. And then this is like kind of how the average person I imagine. I am just an average dude.
A home cook.
Yeah, home cook. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. Like when you're in the restaurant, I would never get away doing it this slow in a restaurant though. That's why working in restaurants is kind of like something else. It's not the home cooking. So I had this at the 4, and it's just starting to run out of water here. So I'm gonna go ahead and add a little more. That's caught it right in time. So thankful that we got nice water, nice tap water here that we can just toss in. And I'm only using this type of measuring cup just because it was out. I had already used it, and it was wet, and I was rinsing it off. So this is what I've done with the carrot here. I'm going to go ahead, and now instead of, I got them all stacked up over here, and instead of, I need to get one more half in here again. What is the pH water? pH of the tap water?
Fuck if we know.
Yeah.
We got a rose bush in the backyard, so it's got to have a balanced pH, huh?
Roses are growing. So are blackberries, though, which is a little concerning.
We got dandelions.
Yeah, we should dandelions. Yeah, oh god. Yeah, please don't let the only thing be dandelions. The water I would imagine is more base than acidic. But I would not know exactly what it is out here. Move this over here so I can keep track of the comments better. Ah! I see. I'm stirring my rice and I'm mixing, what kind of mix pH up with? Oh yeah, PhD. I got no PhD. Just showing people how to make a nice little meal at home. This nice little stream. I gotta do it anyway. I signed up for this. Family's gotta eat. And again, I'm doing a nice chop on this. Because the rice, so I'm sweating all the vegetables individually. Or excuse me, I'm not sweating all the vegetables individually. I'm sweating the vegetables, but I'm cooking the rice and everything and all the vegetables together in the final step. Oh, that's the best part. There's probably there's not going to be any dishes left over. There's a nice little fancy dishwasher. Looks really nice, super jelly. It's beautiful. My sister has a beautiful house. She was so gracious to let her and her fiance, Mr. Sean. Mr. Sean was awesome in letting us come over. Oh yeah, I get to stay here for free. I'm not, it's cold outside. I'm gonna try to give back. I've been trying to think of a nice housewarming gift. I haven't quite figured it out. I do know one thing I had in mind. But Sean's right over there, so I don't want to spoil the surprise.
That's...
I think he's got headphones in. I don't know if he can hear me right now.
Should we go say hi?
What's that?
Should we go say hi?
I'm sure I'm sure he's
Nice.
gaming. He's gaming right now. So I still got more carrots to cut. Oh, that's part of the cooking show, though, is that one of my most popular sayings to say is "clean as you go, sign of a pro." So at the end of this, there's gonna be very little mess. Like if I seriously doubt we used half a cup of rice per person is how we measured it out, and then 2 small celery heads, 1 large yellow onion, 3 cloves of garlic. Oh, I didn't look to see how many. Oh, we still got the celery too. And this is just how you sneak in your veggies. And there's a lot of veggies, and we want everything to evenly cook. So that's why we're just taking our time, getting everything nicely thin and sliced and diced. So that's again, this is nothing fancy type of cutting. This is just getting it done. But in the stream, I'm always making sure to stay tidy. I do love taking advantage of the dishwasher though. The machine, the dishwasher. But I know that some people are really attached to washing the dishes. And
Cheers.
yeah, they just really want them washed by hand. It looks like we, in the audience here, we got a fan of washing dishes by hand. And
I've never used that thing.
yeah. Washing dishes by hand is it's actually really convenient if you do it. What am I saying? Convenient. It's really convenient. Well, yeah, it's duh. It's not. It's real convenient for there to not be any dishes. No, I'm saying is that if you can rinse off and clean off your dishes quickly, and just wipe them up and get them put away like it is, you can still conserve on water. Because if you're washing them right away, they're just clean again. But if you let them sit, they sit for a little while, then you have to start scrubbing. Super basic stuff. Just trying to give the real basic stuff that they might not have in the cookbooks. But that Good Housekeeping cookbook that we like to cook out of here on the stream, that has right in the front, it has some basics about what to look for, how to buy vegetables, how long they store for. It's all right there in the cookbook. And that way you can look at all the things, because how you have to look up this stuff online isn't really convenient. Because a lot of times you have to web search everything individually, about carrots, about onions, about each of these things. In the cookbook, it's there. It doesn't require an internet connection. It doesn't require a charger. And also, it lists all the things at once. You don't have to individually search for them. It's completed.
Getting off of work.
Oh, good. So I would I always love, I don't actually really like dicing my food. I really like these. Oops, there goes one on the floor. I really like these funner shapes. I like the actually just allowing the carrot, but the thing is if I were really trying to get, I'd cut this in half again, and again, really go for small and uniform using too far end of the knife. But just going for smaller, more squarish cuts. That'll help. That's really helps things cook more evenly. But it's a personal preference. Hey Ash, Artful. Yeah, I like this cutting board. I showed people a little trick too about putting a little towel underneath here. It's pretty crazy, Ash, Artful. I was just like, I was thinking about it today, and now we're cooking, and I was like, I was telling people I was over here, and I was like, yeah, basically everyone in the house is a streamer. And I was like, but it's not a streamer house. And then I thought about it, I'm like, it kind of is. It kind of is in a way, though, but it's not, because it's not a reality show. It is real life.
It's our reality.
Right, it's just drama-free. Like, don't get me wrong, there's things in the world, but you don't have to bring it home with you. If there is serious stuff going on in the world, it does deserve attention, of course. I always say that because I would hate to get taken out of context. But pretty close. So good, when we're talking about etiquette and stuff, about around the dinner table, religion and politics are sometimes one of those things that it's just, it's a rule to not talk over dinner. Not because you shouldn't have those conversations, it's just that you don't want to have those conversations before no one's eating. Like you just start, oh, okay, so I need to get a little bit more water than that. The reason why it's a rule about not talking about that stuff at the dinner table is because it's just how often it goes wrong. They're just like trying to save you a headache. And it's kind of how I keep it in the kitchen too. Like if I was out, especially if I was out working in a public kitchen, I definitely keep my opinions to myself. Not because I don't think that they're important, but it's because about how to be a professional. You're not there to talk politics when you're working in the kitchen. They are important, but it's the job. It's like the product, it's the cooking and the food. Like you have to, I do believe in putting intent in what you're doing. And even if that like scientifically just comes out to the food's not burned, like I think you can put I think it works out that you can put love into food. As corny as that sounds, I think somehow it's just possible, even if it just means the food's not burned. Works out somehow. Almost down to the celery. So the onions I want to cook the longest, which is why they went first, and very next went the garlic. And then the carrots are raw, so I want to get them cooked next. And then the celery is going to get soft really easily, so that's why I'm cutting it up last. Huh. Remember almost 45 minutes ago when I was like, I'll get all this cut in 15 minutes. Taking a little bit, yeah. two thirds there, three times later. So I'm gonna get the bouillon mix going here in a second, but I'm actually gonna try. Where would a broom be? Thank you.
Sorry, I'm just a cameraman. And prop getter.
And this is what I mean about clean as you go sign and pro. Don't want to be stepping in on all this. it's what makes it's really what makes you look like you know what you're doing. That's the garage door, so we'll just have that right there for now. I gotta get that celery chopped. Then I gotta get that rice rinsed.
I'll say
you
this,
know what?
I tried cleaning that rice before. It's actually pretty clean. Go ahead and clean it, more. But like,
Yeah,
I was surprised at how little came off of that rice.
Yeah. I assumed because of how it was packaged in a jar, I assumed that it was washed already, but doing this still, if that container's been shaken up, there's still just like little rice particulate.
Oh yeah.
So it still it helps. And what that does is that if you want your rice to fall apart, do another rinse on it anyway. If you want it to be more sticky, leave the little rice particulate on it. Okay. And I want to move these over. I don't have any of this burger. Kind of bad practice to do this, but I'm doing it. I'm just pointing it out. And what I'm doing here is I just want to cut off the root here, getting them stacked. Doesn't have to be uniform and perfect every time. But I mean, it's how to handle it. Like, you know, I'm almost tricking myself because this seems like so much food, but it's for 6 people. So I just gotta keep that in mind. And all this is really just two celery heads. Hey, when the camera pulled out, I corrected myself on my bad posture. Yeah, so what I was doing is I was doing the classic one locked leg, one open leg. Don't do this. This is just the word, like, you are like rickety, like you're gonna ruin your spine. That's how people get old quick on the line. Gotta just nice and balanced. Good shoes. If you want some advice on what to invest your money in, don't listen to a stockbroker. Just invest in what goes between you and the ground. I've been talking about that all day today. The things that go between you and the ground are your car, your bed, your house, and your shoes. That's the thing that needs your money and your attention. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and give myself some room again. And to save myself a cut, and so I don't have to cut the other end of it, even though I don't want to really use this end right here, is that's the end I'm going to have fruit. And these are so big that I'm going to just do them 2 at a time. And then just thin slicers again. These are really soft, so it's okay for them to be a little bit bigger. Ideally, like, I'm just going for a really thin cut. Yeah, that'll turn out alright. I'll have some big ones, and then I'll still cut some really small. That way it's there big, but it's also minced and a little bit more hidden. Oh yeah. Sorry, 7:30. Big 5 closes at 8:30. Man, I don't think I'm going to be able to cut these the way I said I was going to be able to. We still gotta get you those shoes though, Asharple. And then just adding as I go. letting everything sweat as much as possible. And I'm only adding just enough water to keep this hydrated. And the reason why I didn't go ahead and throw my bouillon mix in already is because I need to do a measurement with the bouillon mix and the water. Okay, let's see if I can get this done any faster. One of my favorite. Oh man, I didn't realize I was so zoned out trying to get these done. This just brought me straight back to a memory about it was one of my favorite kitchens to work in, and it's when I knew I was in the right kitchen. And it's so unfortunate I can't stay in this kitchen for long because of other circumstances unrelated to work. But it took for a while. I thought I cut vegetables really fast, and then I found that I was making tuna salad one time, and then I come back on the line, and the chef asked me what took you so long, and I was like, "What do you mean?" I was cutting up all these vegetables, and I did a really good job cutting up the vegetables, and it was like I can do that half the time. I can do all that in 15 minutes. But he wasn't mean about it. See, that's the difference. I've talked on the show a couple times about there being attitudes in the kitchen isn't a natural thing. It's not a macho thing. That's not a sign of a good kitchen. Yeah, you need to take things seriously. There are rules, and etiquette, and who are you type. Yeah, there are those situations. But that doesn't mean that you just treat your employees poorly. That doesn't mean that they get name called and stuff. It's just you gotta cook the food. This is not even about this. This is for the customer. But yeah, he didn't get at me sideways at all about it. He just opened me up to the game. See, he didn't let he actually, what I mean by this is that I knew I was in a good place because I knew that cook actually wanted me to succeed at that point, because he let me know the right way that okay, you think it's good, but if you want better, this is what you do for better. And you know what opened up that conversation though? It wasn't because of how sincere of a guy it was. It was just because I was honest in what I wanted to get paid there. I asked not for a crazy expensive wage, but I didn't ask for minimum wage. So that that opened up the question to the employer about they had to assess what my actual value was at that point. So they knew what I was shooting for, and that let him, the chef. I can't read his mind though, but it's just my guess because I had that conversation. It allowed us to have another conversation about, okay, this is what that actually looks like then. If you want to make some more money, this is what it looks like. But see, that cook was able to get a really good example. A bad example, someone that I think that was lying to me in the kitchen. It's all about people that are manipulating you usually. It's all about the scheduling. Oh, I just need you to work this extra day. Oh, they have that guy that's always just covering everyone's shifts. But I don't always believe that manager is looking out for that person. Just because you're always saying yes Like it's they're what am I trying to say here? Let's see. Hippo milk. Is that vegan? Is hippo milk vegan? Just adding a little bit of water at a time. Just keeping it just enough. Adding the celery as we go. Oh yeah, it does come from an animal, doesn't it? I guess that's the rule for veganism. What do I know? I'm just a vegetarian. I do like oat milk. I personally, I did oat milk for, I still, they have, I want to talk to a barista. I've been mentioned this on a couple times on the show. I want to know how different, I use milk substitutes in the show, but there's different reactions, like oat milk and, or almond milk or coconut milk. They had they cook differently, they bake differently. And the person that's going to know that's going to know exactly how each one works is baristas, because they already do all those substitutions in their coffees and their lattes, so they can tell you if like oat milk gelatinates or gets gelatinous. Is this English? I want to talk to them. That way I can get better at using the oat milk and the almond milk. What I do with vegetarians, we can still, the milk and the cheese and stuff is still part of our diet, or the eggs. And what I try to do is, on the show, I haven't repeated a recipe yet, but what I'm doing first is if like tomato basil bisque, there's this diner tomato basil bisque that is more creamy and savory, and it still uses heavy cream. I needed to make it with the heavy cream first instead of an alternative, because I needed to remind myself what I was shooting for. Like, what is the actual flavors? That way when I cook it with an alternative, I can know better if I actually like hit my mark, or if it just tastes like, how else would I know if it tasted too different? I have to have it the way it was traditionally cooked. And then when I was looking up, since we're going over tomato basil bisque, when I was looking it up, that's some French cuisine right there, and it's usually using carnations and shrimp, and it's a very savory dish. The reason why I know more of just the emphasis on the basil and making it more of like a creamy tomato soup is because seafood is expensive, and so at 24-hour diners, it's a nice base. It's like the only sometimes the only vegetarian option that you have at restaurants, because their chili usually has a meat. However, like plenty of places are good now about having a vegetarian and vegetarian options in general on the menu. They're pretty good. So usually if they have a regular chili, they'd probably have a vegetarian chili. But hey, sometimes things go out. Sometimes things are 86. We need to have options. Whew. So, like I said, wherever your night skills are, they're only necessary if you want to be able to cook wherever you go. So I'm able to make this dish without a food processor, but if you're just at home, there's no shame in using a food processor at all. I actually highly recommend just using the food processor. This right here takes a lot of time. But hey, we're feeding 6 people for $18. And there's leftovers too. I mean, like the most expensive part of that. Okay, it's not even feeding people for $18. I saved the receipt. Because the bouillon is going to make stock for days. Like this is a one-time stock that we're adding. And that's where we're going to get a nice flavor. And we don't even need to use that much bouillon. So that knocks $5 off that $18. So we're at $13. We still have most of the garlic. That was 89 cents. So we're down to $12. Let's see. We only used half the carrots. I'll have to look to see what that cost of that was. Oh, what did I do with the receipt? I must have got rid of it when I was cleaning. Oh well. We're finally down to the end of our celery now. Finally got it all chopped up here. We can make that bouillon I was just talking about. So I think every single time I've cooked rice on this show, I've actually just used a large saute. This is one. 6 people is when I finally bust out. It's a big pot. This is when you need that. I'm just getting it stirred, and that'll be the last one. I won't add any more water. Now it's just a race to get the bouillon mixed and added. Dropped a little bit. We'll get another sweet. So I think I have just enough time to be able to give myself a sweet and be done with the cutting and be wrapped up with it. We're going to try to do that. That's sweet, so I'm not like too particular. There it is. Whoop. Gets me every time. Oh yeah, this is some high quality action right there, ain't it?
Clean as you go.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm going to still be making a mess, so put that over there for now. Let's see that question. Oh yeah, you like it? How it's looking? Good. Yeah, I hadn't quite decided what to make yet, and I can say that I shopped at Albertsons because no one owns a contract for me. I had no idea. I have no idea what to buy at this store. And what I like about this recipe is that you go, as long as you have this bouillon here, like this seriously lasts you until it's 2022. This stuff is like jam, but it is flavor. It is like chicken. You can make all your own chicken stock with it. That's the next thing that we need to do. We're right about to run out of water on here. Let's see. Yep, the riveting part of being able to open up jars. Yes. Oh yeah, the action, the suspense, the thrill. 1,000 a minute. Okay. Now, I want to show you how to not make it. This is messy stuff if you don't know what you're doing. So I'm going to make this really easy here first. Like, ooh, is there a measuring cup?
Measuring cup? Let's look through all of the everything.
No, you don't need to do that.
Yes.
Oh wow, there we go.
Yeah.
Alright. I guess it is your house, you can't do it.
Everything has like 3 or 4 homes. I've learned to just live with that.
Okay, and then we're going to take a whisk, and this is the trick here. This is what you go to culinary school for. I didn't go to culinary school. Just get a little, just a dip, just like that. Okay, that's all I need. That's going to be enough flavor for this recipe here. Okay. Now, I need to read the back of this rice real quick because it's fancy rice, so I'm sure it has fancy instructions.
Shows like 1 to 1.
It is a 1 to 1.5 to 1.5.
Hmm.
And so I'm using 3 cups. So that is going to be 7.5 cups of water. So I'm probably going to actually need some more bouillon. So we'll do this twice. I'll show you what we'll do because we only have, what is this? This is it goes to 2.5 cups. Oh my goodness, too much math. Let's do that. So what did I say? It was 7.5 cups of water. Clean whisk at the end of the day. Imagine that. And I'm going to go ahead. And then there's a little bit that wasn't mixed, but don't worry, we'll get it in the next run. We'll just do the same thing again. So I'm going to have to do this at least 3 times, and the last little bit will just be water. So I'm not going to go for too much. I'm just going to dip in a little bit. Get another 2 cups of water, because I need to get up to 7.5 cups. And some people would really freak out about me using tap water. But as we were over on we already talked about the pH of the water today. We're really lucky about where we live. All the good fresh water supply. And then if you're ever still paranoid about drinking out of your faucet, there's some things that you can check. This is a little bit of a fancy one that my sister has, but things to clean up are just on the under inside of it. When you don't need to show that to them.
It's clean.
Yeah, it is clean anyway. But sometimes they'll have rings that you can unscrew on them, and then the little they're aerators. They can have a little bit of lime on them, and it would be good to get that all cleaned up. Let's see, I just need a little bit more because if it doesn't matter if the drinking water is clean if there's contaminant in the actual sink. And then something else I would say, which is also really good if you have a stainless steel. If you have a stainless steel pots and pans, and you have a stainless steel sink, it's called barkeeper's friend. Alright, now this last bit is just going to be, let's see, we got 6 and 7.5. With all the vegetables there, I'm going to go ahead and add just a solid 8 cups of water. You know what, since I am doing 8, I can do 1 more because my whisk will be clean. That was the whole idea about it, and it's nice enough flavor. So this is a no chicken broth. And that'll help keep it all vegetarian. And then there's no reason why, if you're just trying to cut back on a bit of meat, there's no reason why you have to be limited in that way. You can do a regular chicken broth and just have the chicken broth to your vegetables. If you're a vegetarian, the no chicken broth is a great alternative. or you can just stick with the vegetable broths. I personally don't miss meat too much, but I cook for lots of different people. And so there's recipes where I use meat substitutes and things. I'm fine just downing a vegetable. So helps get that satisfying feeling though when you have the meat substitutes. Helps people not miss the meat so much. So I'm going to go ahead and rinse the rice too. Now this rice is supposedly pretty clean too. Oops. And I'm not usually used to working with this much rice. I almost need the big bowl that I usually use. And right now I'm just scooping it up with my hands. And the water did get a little bit murky, but this murkiness is mostly, and I finally can show you how I stop this. So it's just slow. You're using the size of the bowl, if you had a bigger bowl, and then, yeah, you lose some rice, but it's not the end of the world. And you drain it. And this was pretty clean, so I'm only going to need to do it one more time. I won't worry about getting absolutely all the water out, because it's already pretty clean. And I'm just going to take it, I don't need to, because most of the dirt had already gone. You don't have to worry about getting every drop of liquid. However, there are sayings about how you use every grain of rice. And really, we're just waiting for this to come to a boil. So there's no reason you can't waste some time trying to get some rice out. It's just going to end up in the sink, and then it's going to end up in your strainer, and then you're going to like finger the strainer weird as you're sitting there over your garbage, because you really don't want the rice to go down the sink. Yeah, but you kind of did, but it somehow didn't go quite through the hole. And here you are. Anyway, that's real life. And we're doing a pretty good job. Like, we're spending some time in the kitchen, but this is always usually a 2-hour stream. But you can if you already have your vegetables prepared, this recipe is super easy. Oh yeah, we're talking about the cost of this recipe too, and we got down to about $12. I didn't have the receipt anymore. I wasn't able to see what the carrots cost. I'd imagine like $4, and we'll only use half the carrots, so that's another $2. So it was $10. We got it down to $10 for 6 people for the price of one. So I'm giving this just one stir. Ooh, and I need to find a lid for it.
Good question. These two bottom somewhere. Maybe this one? No. Maybe Sean knows. Underneath the oven?
That heat warmer.
Again, for the people just visiting, we have like 3 or 4 homes for every single thing in this kitchen. Just moved. Hey, Sean! Would you happen to have a lid for this pot?
Is that
What?
A lid for this pot. Landlord of the house.
he is the landlord?
Yeah.
I don't remember, man.
Maybe the dishwasher. Honey bunches of nope.
Uh-oh. I kind of.
What about a makeshift lid?
No, it's saying so.
A makeshift lid.
No, that's a terrible idea.
Why is that a terrible idea?
Yep. Oh. It would boil over so fast. Oh man.
We'll keep it cracked.
You want the steam to be trapped in? There has to be lids somewhere. I'm just not looking in the right place.
I think our lids are like buried in a box somewhere.
Oh, I guess. Oh no.
Oh, the joys of just moving into that place.
You know what? I did one time? Is I just grabbed the tin foil and I just like made
Tin
all
foil.
the
Hey,
This is the way.
I want to be the cameraman for just like 30 seconds while I take a leak.
Yeah, dude.
Fuck yeah, thank you.
Oh my goodness, I didn't think about that. Is this going to actually work? Nope. There's no lid, people! I'm trying to cook rice.
If you do it with the tinfoil, I promise it will work.
Yeah, that would actually work. What is the tinfoil?
All right, it is. I want to say the second drawer, third drawer.
You're just trying to get me to bend over.
No, it's in there. I'm sorry, man. I haven't exactly cooked a whole bunch in here myself.
I'm just joshing with you. Was Josh like a really big jokester or something though?
Josh.
I wonder if I'm committing sacrilege with like slicing tinfoil with scissors.
Oh, bro, just pull it. Check this out. Just pull it fast.
Oh, there it is. I was working through some old stuff, so the graters weren't even there anymore on them.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I still need this to come to a boil anyway. There it is! Hey! We got it figured out this weekend. Alright, so this is coming to a boil and we're about to not touch our rice anymore. We're going to go ahead and rinse off our wooden spoons because we love our wooden spoons and we do not put our wooden spoons in the dishwasher unless you do because you're a terrible person. But don't do it. It's not worth it. Plus, that's how you get soap in your spoon. So, this came to a boil.
Oh, we got our makeshift lid.
We've got a makeshift lid that we're working with. And we're going to put this, a double burner all the way down, as low as we can go. This is going to... I won't be surprised if this boil is over, but we want to try to make it airtight. Okay, so we're going to do a combination of ideas. This is the funniest thing. I can't believe this we had a makeshift lid on this room. Okay, so we're going to do one more thing. We had a cookie sheet right here.
Oh yeah, you want that?
Yeah, I'll take a cookie
Right
sheet.
here.
Ah, okay. Okay. And that should keep it airtight. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and let's see how we set a timer on here.
Oh, good question. It's a new oven
timer. There we go. Oh, how long? God, let's see how long to cook that rice. I didn't read the directions all the way. 15 minutes. For 5 to 10 minutes longer. Okay. Okay. Where did this come from?
Just throw it in with the Ziplocs, I guess. We'll figure out at home later.
I was so like trying to figure like, oh God, what are we gonna do? All right, and then I don't have a cameraman, so I'm never able to show like proof. Like, here's the sink when I'm done cooking. Like, I need
as you go.
Yeah, sign of a pro. I do need to. There's some vegetables I need to clean out on there, but it's not like I I do have a dirty knife. So, knives also. We're talking about. We love our wooden spoons. We love our knives. Knives are another thing that you try to avoid putting in the dishwasher. Now, if you were like prepping a bunch of meat, then I'd actually say, yeah, go ahead and put that in the dishwasher, unless you're using hot enough water. Like, if you're using hot enough water, you can still sanitize it, but when you're using meat products, that's when stuff like that becomes important. When you're just cooking with vegetables and stuff, you don't have to kill certain bacterias. Get that all put away. Give this another rinse, and that won't have to go in the dishwasher either. is a, oh, I don't still have this, sticker taken off. Alright. And we are even slipped still too. Like we have some garlic to put away, and then this cup has been rinsed so many times, like it's clean too. They even waste water rinsing that one, that's like a double win. And then we'll put, let's see,
I think the spices are on the right,
all the spices. Oh, okay, yeah, I'll leave that.
perhaps.
I think that's probably a better place because I don't think people are used to what that is. So having like spices will get people to be like, huh, where should I put this though?
It is,
Oh, hey, look at that.
with the other ones.
Yeah. Look at that.
You know what? Yeah.
All right.
So we're just waiting.
Yeah, we're just waiting.
It's a waiting game now.
Yeah, it's all done. Let's see. So this is was for 6 people, so there's a lot more vegetables to cut up. Be a third of the time for a third of the vegetables, even if you're brand new to cutting. I wasn't doing any sort of fancy cutting. I'm sure people could try to make fun of that inaccurate cut. That
Speed comes with time.
Yeah, well, what was going on is that this isn't the kitchen I usually cook in, so
That too.
and it's not the cutting board, it's a brand new knife that I'm using. But yeah, it's just like driving different cars. The more knives you use, the more you're used to just holding on to it and going with it. But knife skills, like I said, they can be replaced with food processors when you're home cooking. There's no reason it can't. You can put meals together incredibly quickly when you're doing that. Using a food processor. The reason why the knives are cheap to maintain, and at the restaurant the reason why knife work's always big is because you're cutting up bags of onions, you're going through hundreds. You wouldn't want to necessarily put hundreds of onions through a food processor, but you could certainly put one time for a lifetime put hundreds of onions through a food processor. Knives can see a lot more action, but it doesn't make them better. This makeshift lid turned out pretty well. We're getting it's letting out a little bit of water, but we made it happen today. Now it's just gonna cook for 10 minutes, and then this is all gonna be hot. It's a burning hazard. And that's how you cook and clean, and you just get to sit down and eat when you're done with it.
Chilling.
That's right. I could decide to read that as a, or I could decide to read that as A-G-G.
Guga. Guga.
Oh, maybe that's what it was. I did that a little too well, I think.
It's Mr. Krabs.
Did someone say money? Yeah, that's not what I'm here for. Just having a good time. Showing people it's like, yeah, just cut some stuff up. Throw some flavor in it.
You made this look really, really, really simple. I know it was a simple recipe, but like, this was a joy to just be able to film.